Hello and welcome to another episode of PlayUp Legends, everyone. And we are back, Group 3, Episode 5. It's come a long way, guys. It's come a long way. Before we begin, I just want to go over our sponsors really quick. Thanks to the Miniature Corner Studio, who basically do custom made 3D printing locally. You can find them on their Facebook page as seen over here. They give us, as usual, the 10% discount code, PlayUp21. Every time you purchase, you get 10% off using this code, and you'll also be indirectly helping us as well. Any of the codes will be helping us really and truly. And we also have Warmongers Games Mota.com websites on the top. You're going to see this going on and on top as usual, guys. 10% discount code is Legends1369. This will expire on the 6th of June. This one specific, everyone, is for board games. It's time for board games to come back. He's got a bunch of new board games on the shelves now. Just go to his website, have a look at what there is, make use of the code, and he also does delivery. Last but not least, we also have the Giants Tower.com. Basically, they have terrain and they have miniatures that are adapted to a certain kind of style, certain themes, be it Viking, be it Egyptians, and he also is doing custom made stuff as well at the moment. That being said, his code is 15% of the highest percentage of discounts that we have amongst all of our sponsors, with PlayUp15, all capital letters, PlayUp15. Once you make a purchase, you get 15% off. And of course, last but not least, you can also support us directly on patreon.com/playupmt, where you can support us for as little as €3 per month. We have reached 5 Patreons. This has been an achievement. It might not be much for a lot of people, but for us here in PlayUp, it means so much. So much so that I think every single player in my group is actually a Patreon, if I'm not mistaken, at this point. So I feel lucky that I have all the Patreons with me. So, quick introduction, guys, starting with Odd.
I am Odd, the tiefling who's trying to recover 10 missing years from his life. Once a bard, now gone rogue to save his family from danger.
Ennis.
I am Ennis, a disgraced warframe fighter, noble, and military captain. Saddened by his brother's death and seeking to free his family from the rival clan Suranat.
Ooh. Is there a change in intro there? It says a change in intro.
I used it the last time as well.
Alright, okay. Memory bits. Tlomax, nice to have you back from last session.
Hi, I'm Tlomax on the Horn. I'm a Furborg Tempest Cleric of the Devourer, or now known Stale. I've been shunned from my village and I'm in search for other like-minded followers in the Thunder Sea.
Which you did find.
Which I did find.
What?
Which I did find.
And last but not the least of us, Merrin.
Hi, I'm Marin, a human wizard in search of respect by becoming a master illusionist.
Aww. No. And I am Don Chap, founder of PlayUp, DM for this session, everyone. And a quick recap what happened in the last 2 sessions, my session and also session from Group 1. So in my last session, we basically came across this pirate tyrant known as Captain Hiccups, who basically got the party on board to act on his behalf as a bodyguard. Specifically, he chose Tlomax. This being said, however, he has also made use of their talents, and he has something of odds, which clearly there's some form of revenge in the process. That being said, however, when they went to heal up the incidents, specifically Ennis and Tlomax, from their first encounter against the BBG in session 2, Ennis was doing fine. Tlomax unfortunately did not do so well, and he's waiting for a week's time so the wounds can recover so he can go back and treat them again. In the meantime, however, they were trying to understand what is happening with Odd and if the healer could actually do something with him. Unfortunately, the healer couldn't. That being said, she did give a reference to a Mortos, which Odd freaked out at the name and gave a bit of backstory that he knew Mortos, and supposedly Mortos should be dead, according to Odd, but this name is once again thrown around at him. And later on, as Odd goes into a deep, how shall we put this, guys? Knockout.
Comatose?
Oh.
Knockout. What happened with Odd? He is somewhat corrupted by this voice that keeps whispering at him, wanting some form of aggression, torture, and pain to be inflicted onto people. At the sound of Mortos' name, and once again Captain Hiccups showing up with a specific dagger, Odd could not handle the overwhelming chaotic voice in his head and fainted towards the party. However, Odd was seeing something completely different. He saw a two pair of red eyes, which he remembers from 13 years ago at this point, if not 14. And the voice has some form of control over Odd. From the outside perspective, he's been having like this massive seizure, to which they quickly rushed him to the Scarlet Inn, which is kindly paid for by Captain Hiccups. That being said, Captain Hiccups did come over and get Tlomax to join him. He gave him a few hours to scout the area, which Tlomax luckily found a shrine dedicated to this god Thale, Thale of the Sea. He also met another fellow worshipper of Thale, and some form of understanding came across him, and he got to find a bit more about the god he has heard and is looking for. However, that quickly changed when the same person was on the opposing side of the team of Captain Hiccups, meaning that Captain Hiccups had something that the other party wanted. Tlomax, acting as a bodyguard, tried to make a stance. However, due to a small druid amongst their party, he ended up running away and fleeing in fear, and eventually being captivated in vines. Last we saw Captain Hiccups, he was running after the party who had stolen the item from him and without payment, and he is now chasing them at sea. Tlomax, breaking out of his vines and unpaid, returns back to the Scarlet Inn, and this is where we begin our session, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see here, thanks to Roll20, we have the Scarlet Inn. Tlomax is at the entrance, over here. We have the party in this room specifically. As you can see, Odd is not doing so well in the bed. And you have Marin and Ennis next to him. So, Odd, you are still knocked out. Feverish from the touch of Marin's hand against your forehead, sweating profusely and muttering to yourself, at least no longer gargling purple pus, and you're no longer in that original state that you got into. I leave the platform for roleplay.
So you're gonna do about it.
So one question. I'm at the entrance, I suppose, of the inn.
You are. Can you see the? You can see the map? Yes.
Yes. I'm next to the door.
Yes. So
The entrance. Okay. That's fine.
just to explain the layout really quickly. So the entrance is here. The other pair of stairs would technically lead you to the cellar. All right.
Okay. And I suppose there's some sort of door on this part, which leads to the room.
The door is over here.
Yep. Okay. That's all. Okay. So, following deep sighs from fucking not getting paid, I'll make my way towards the room where everyone else is, just to get an update on Odd.
Marin, Ennis, what are you doing at the moment?
Standing around looking at Odd.
Yeah. I think at this point I probably have some kind of ale in my hand, just drinking a bit.
Tlomax, you're back.
Yeah, well,
How to go with the Mad Captain?
well, at least he might not be much of an issue for us for now, in the sense that he's now been angered to another group of individuals who have you remember the bracelet he had, they've stolen that from him, so he might be off our tails for now, with more pressing interests at hand. But Odd seems a bit better than what he was, isn't he?
He's not gargling purple stuff, whatever it is.
Uh, let's see. Following last time, I think might have got something from a fellow cleric. Maybe I can possibly help Odd out, and I'll just lean in and try and cast whatever. Maybe it does something. Remove curse on Odd.
Okay, Odd. Let's have a bit of a one-to-one right now. You are still in this pitch blackness. It seems like you've been here too long. The pair of eyes don't blink and just follow your every move as you try to either run away or pace back and forth. You feel this sense of numbness, but the blackness and darkness overwhelm you with more and more evil feelings that want to somehow take hold of you. It is resistance, I feel, Azazel.
What do you expect? This is not in my nature. You are not in my nature.
But
They're
you did
aliens.
not resist before. Why the sudden change?
I was 10 years old, maybe?
Do you not know how corruption works? You are born with it. It's in your Thiefling blood.
No. Fuck that. I command my future. I command my destiny. I know where my virtues are. They are not aligned with yours.
You feel, Tlomax, when you did cast Remove Curse on Odd, you touched him anywhere? Is it how was this? Because it.
Well, most probably I would just go lean over and most probably touch his head or chest.
Alright, so Odd, you feel like this burning sensation on your forehead and the eyes glow redder. What a fool your friends are, thinking this is a curse. Soon you will be mine, and the bidding you will do for me.
Before I let that.
You must find mortals, and you must reconnect with your past item, the Scarlet Dagger. A shard that will connect to you, and you shall find the rest. I must have all of them. All of them.
What is your name? What are you called?
Moving on to the party outside, there's no reaction towards odds when you try to perform the remove curse. Actually, the only reaction that you see is perhaps the fever kind of dying down and his body temperature kind of lowering back to its almost normal state. However, he doesn't awaken. still tossing and turning in his bed.
Okay, so it's not just lying down. He's
Oh
restless.
no, yeah. There's a sense of rest. He's fighting something within. You can see that. You know when someone dreams heavily and they're really in depth into their dream, that's what you're seeing in front of you.
I think he's normal again. I cast calm emotions.
As you ask the question, Odd, what is your name? Search your feelings, Azazel. You know, this. And as everything around you starts to become lighter, almost the dark becomes gray and the red eyes slowly fade, your eyes open once more. And you are on a bed, drenched and stinking of sweat. You're with your party again. Classical moment, a burst from the fireplace happens. And a familiar voice comes through the flames. Do you know how hard it was to connect with you again? Where are you this time? Ennis? He looks around the room and immediately spots Ennis right in front of him. Ah, there you are. Report.
We're at the Scarlet Inn. It's a bit of a story. We got also... Well, I managed to get myself healed from whatever affliction had afflicted me, whatever the corruption thing was. We have also her has just been fainted to a certain extent after hearing a particular name coming from this hero woman. The hero woman was called Samantha. Name that we got was Mortos, I believe.
So
We don't know. She told us to go talk to this Mortos, whoever it is.
So we are getting down to the bottom of what's going on with Odd, and we might have some uncovered history at this point.
Yes. Or did say that this Mortos guy should be dead, which is concerning.
Quartermaster, I would really appreciate it if you could gather all the information you could regarding this Mortos. He seems to have...
Can you make me a Constitution save, Odds, for even trying to speak, as you've been through a few, good 12 hours minimum of this feverish compulsion, whatever you want to call it. See if you're able to speak.
18.
Right. You can find yourself to speak. You can't get off the bed really. You just kind of roll towards this huge arcane of fire that comes from the fireplace, and the face of your quartermaster vividly coming out of it, starting to while talking to Ennis. As you say the words, he slowly turns to you. I will try to do my best. We're the Watchers, and you are part of the guild. I could get some information from anyone within Brokewood that's already standing by. I'll see what I can do if this helps your situation. Any luck with recovering any more memories of what happened in the 10 years?
Not much at the moment. It's been tough. There seems to be a higher, darker power at play here.
Yes, we did notice something strange while our alchemist was looking at the brooch you brought to us. Something really weird is going on here. I'm not sure if there's a connection or not, but we shall find out more. In the meantime, I will find you again within another 24 hours. I'll see what I can find. If I can find a way to get in contact with you, I will, and I will share the information we find from our other agent. In the meantime, best of luck. And the fire dims
Appreciate it.
down.
Well, he was less of a dick than usual.
Well, he did send us to get more information about you, so at least.
Yeah, you're right.
At least he has a deed he can
Yeah.
work with. So now what?
I think we need to find info on this Mortos, I suppose. And
Yes, but
from my end, I would like also to get some more info on some other stuff from the library, if that's not too much of a hassle.
You say library?
Yeah, library. I was informed maybe there was some information I'd be interested in the local library.
Can I come?
More than welcome to join.
sure, so doubt we're gonna find much information about Mortis at the library. You guys can go and try and see what I can learn from here about this Mortis fellow.
Who
Is
knows
there
if
anything?
he might be, if he's some prominent person, there might be some books on him. Who knows?
Fair enough.
Is there anything else I can look up at the library that might be helpful?
You mentioned corruption of sorts. Samantha, right? Yeah, Samantha mentioned corruption of sorts.
Okay, I can look up
Don't
that.
know what you can find on that kind of magic, or whatever you can call it.
If you find something about cursed items, could you look up the Scarlet Dagger?
I will do that.
Apparently, that's the dagger that Hiccups has.
Okay. And what
So,
significance does it have to you?
I need to stay away from it, apparently.
Oh, is it
And
like the brooch?
Yeah.
Captain Hiccups said that he got it from overboard. So
Hmm. Well,
likely got connection to him.
we've got stuff to research then, it seems.
I stay here, ask around, see what we can get.
Can Odd get out of bed? Or is he.
Oh,
Watch out
Yeah,
for us.
with that.
before we leave. Oh, and I think last. Don't worry, no, it's too early. We've seen his wait a couple of days.
Yes. Watch your leg.
Yes.
Speaking of which,
6
let me
days to
change
go.
the bandages quickly. Hold on. Ew! Oh. Okay, you good to go.
Be careful, guys.
Hey, it's just a human and a firbolg strolling around a bustling town. What can go wrong?
You'd be surprised.
We'll see you
Okay.
later.
See you.
So just to be clear, we have Tlomax and Marin. I understand you're going to the library. Ennis, you are going to find out about Morthos, but are you taking Odd
Yes.
with you?
Odd needs a shower.
Odd does
So-
need a bath, yes.
Wait,
Odd,
I was thinking at first
question
starting
outside.
asking
Darren, do you have
questions.
prestidigitation?
I do not.
Ah, okay.
You have
As we were.
prestidigitation, no?
I cast prestidigitation. Ice man.
No, you-
Sparks everywhere. It's
That's
dirt.
not the same.
No?
It only works on a small area of space, by the way.
Your
Target
armpits.
it strategically.
I instantly clean or soil an object. No, not larger than a 1 cubic foot. Okay. Takes me like 10 minutes, but I take a shower and precipitation.
We see the dead lifting of him in seconds.
Okay, no, it's not gonna do. I need a bath. Okay. I just need a Nice warm bath.
So,
Again, referring back to Ennis because everyone jumped on him when he was trying to talk.
so the idea is kind of ask around, just what you can get about ideas of what happened, whether or not what happened, disappeared. Now, if he was dead, that would likely mean something like disappearing or something. At least that's what Ennis is thinking.
Yeah, I think we should direct our questions. We shouldn't mention that he's dead
No, I'm
or
not asking
that
whether
he's
he's dead.
disappeared.
Exactly.
Yeah, just do you know Mortos? Is Mortos? Who is he? Yada yada. Or maybe not who is he.
You could also ask.
Who is he might be a good thing to ask, so you get people's impressions of him.
And
What if you
Yeah.
asked questions like, I know somebody who has a strange disease that seems magical. Do you know anyone who specializes in such things? And then they will tell you themselves more thoughts, and then you can ask without sounding too suspicious.
We were told to go to Samantha when we asked about magical diseases. So that's the question. That's the problem.
we could just
Or you
say
could-
that Samantha directed us to
Yeah.
Mortos.
She did.
Just say the truth.
I mean, he's a tiefling, right? So people are likely going to be naturally distrusting of him.
Well, I'm not gonna be the one asking questions.
Yeah, I'm going to ask asking.
Yeah. Maybe before I take a bath, I shouldn't even be near anyone else. Stench is horrid.
So, I think first let's start asking around here.
All right.
In this area.
So, Tlomax and Marin, are you gonna stay around with the asking of questions, or are you just gonna go like, okay, you guys take care of it. We're gonna just go quickly to the nearest
No.
library.
We're fucking off.
Okay. So.
Amanda said it was a 2-hour walk to get to the public library.
All right. So, spotlight is gonna be on Ennis and maybe Odd once he joins in after his little bath. So, let's just go ahead and just get you guys off the map, just so we don't mix things up. All right, Mela. Ennis.
So, let's go talk to the barkeep, I bet.
So the barkeep right. So you're gonna move there, right? So you can see this drunken fella. By the way, or do you need me to fix?
Yes, please.
There.
Oh, okay, I can do it.
There you go.
Thanks.
All right. So Ennis, the barkeep is a muscular. I would say like he's maybe 40, 45, humanoid, bald with a beard. Currently enjoying an ale as he doesn't have any patrons. As quickly as you come out of the room and you scuffle towards him, he just quickly tries to hide it underneath the counter and says, yes, what can I do for you?
So, ale for me, and a bit of a question I would like to ask.
He prepares one of the kegs and he starts drafting out. All right, yeah.
We were told to find this Mortos fellow. Know anything about him?
Mortos.
Seems... Yes.
Yeah, you could say he's like a shrink, like a mind person thingy. You know, anyone with kind of delusions or with kind of not normal kind of thinking people, if you know what I'm saying. He slams down the drink you ordered and shifts it across the table. But yeah, my little man, he's basically the mind doctor of the village, the town, the city, whatever you want to call this place. It's big enough to be a city. When you're stuck inside these 6 walls, you kind of start thinking the world is a bit smaller than it should be.
There was a rumor that he at some point kind of disappeared of some sort. Would you know happen to know anything about that?
I mean, Mortos has a habit to travel a lot. He goes to the western side by boat or ship. He travels a lot of the eastern sides, so he is very much is looking for increasing his knowledge and stuff. So if you would say disappearing from Brokewood, it takes a couple of weeks. He puts on a notice, out of office, and when he comes back, you notice because the sign's no longer there. So yeah, sometimes he disappears. You can say from Brokewood. Yeah, I guess you can say that. Anything for you, good sir? He looks over at Odd.
Um, I'd like a nice glass of water, 'cause I'm feeling parched. And do you have a bath in this
Bath is
very
down.
nice establishment?
No worries. Bath is in the cellar. Go ahead. There's always some ready hot water on the fire. Don't worry. Go ahead. Get yourself prepped up. All taken care of by Captain Hiccups. So don't worry about that. No extra cost. No
It's
worries.
amazing.
Uh,
Thank you so much.
I'll see what I can find in relation to water. It's usually not commonly asked for, so I'm just gonna see what I can shove around while you go there.
Great. Thanks. Ennis, I pat Ennis twice on the shoulder. I'm like, I need to go take a bath.
Yeah. Go.
See you then.
And take a good rest.
Thanks, man.
So, why such interest in Master Mortos or Morthos or whatever you said is however they pronounce his name.
Gotten word you might be interested in, I guess, dark elements of a darker nature.
Darker nature.
Dark magics of sorts.
Hey, hush, hush, hush. He kind of leans over and just like in panic, he's like, there's another party around the corner. You don't want to scare people off with black magic and shit, man. Alright? Don't hey, take it easy, huh? With the lingo, huh? We don't throw dark, we don't throw black, we don't throw none of that stuff around here. You want to know what jobs there is? There's a notice board, and that's basically it. You don't want competition trying to steal your goal, if you know what I mean.
Yes, but that is why I need information on it. I need to see if the rumor is true, first of all. And the talk of the talk is true before I act on it.
The only thing I know of is there's something happening in the west, but other than that, east seems to be peaceful.
What is happening in the West?
Uh, well, some say some old ancient cult is starting to rise up and, wanted to do bad juju and take over the land. But, I mean, the Norns Alliance take care of that side, and also some witch hunters come along and start going bam, bam, bam with their arrows and stabby, 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 and everyone's dead. And, we should be fine. I mean, we're protected by the Elden Reaches, so no one's gonna come here. And anyone who tries to cross over through the port, through us, we don't really like to travel down south to and east to your side. We're not welcome as, Westerners. Yes, I'm from the West too.
Alright. Thanks for the help.
And
We don't owe you an ending for the air, right?
all taken care of by Captain Hiccups. Don't worry about it.
Take a silver, for your help.
How generous. He kind of picks it up, looks at, sniffs it, kind of tastes it, and bites between his teeth. Good old silver. Yeah, and kind of puts it in the till in front of him underneath the counter. You hear that. Ching. All right, so while I never knew that voice was going to take so much out of me. While you were doing so Tlomax and Marin, you're going through the city streets, and you're asking for direction for the library. Everyone starts being helpful around. You notice the majority of the people are human. However, one person you did not think to come across was a familiar face that you guys came across a couple of days back, 2-3 days, I would say, at this point. Ennis's supposedly, well, no longer ex-best friend, is scuffling through the streets, giving no mind to anyone, and there are two of his clan members following him back. He seems like he's talking to them a bit out loud, something along the lines of rich business, ha 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 ha, along those lines.
So we see Twiggy. See Vicky? Or wait.
No, Ennis's ex.
Ennis.
See
Oh,
me,
Ennis. Okay, wrong character. Oh,
Famously hostile to humans.
Not hostile to he's not hostile to humans.
Oh, okay. At least.
oh, okay. Oh, we see the brother killer.
Yep,
Exactly.
the brother killer.
Who was
Oh.
heading back to the other clan who wanted to make peace. Who wanted to make peace with humans for trade.
That's correct. Ding
Oh,
ding ding.
I'll
Points.
speak to Merin. I think we should stray far and go around. I don't think we should really have an encounter with him unless.
Aren't you curious to know what he's doing here? Wasn't he heading back to his clan?
Well,
Might be able to give us information on how the conflict's going.
if you want to, yeah, we can.
And I think it's pretty safe here.
Question
We're
him a
surrounded by people. I'll let you do the talking.
Oh, well. Okay.
So,
So-
you approach him.
Well, yes.
So he's going along the lines of, and once we get trade over to the seas, we'll be able to start exporting all the stuff at good money. We're never going to end up poor. And the two guys behind him is like, yeah, screw mining gold at these points, eh? Do you step in front of him to talk to him, Tlomax, or do you just kind of bring his attention from the side? How do you approach this?
I think we just go behind and crouch down, I suppose, go down, bend down, and step him on the back. I'm not crouching, but
All right,
I'm,
okay.
I'm a bit tall.
So he kind of goes like, huh? And he turns around and is like, what do you want?
Fancy meeting you here, following a brief encounter previously.
He looks at his mates and say, me?
Well,
I don't remember you, laddie.
You
I would say I would remember seeing the size of you.
you had a brief encounter a couple of days ago with Ennis.
Ah. You know what? Memory's starting to come back to me. Yeah. I remember you were on the tower back at Redhorn Divide. It's a good thing you got out of there, I guess. Alive.
Why? What's happened to the place then?
Well, no one told us that the clan that lost, the opposing clan, decided to flee. So they ended up burning it down to the ground. It's only until we actually birched through the broken, well, I wouldn't say wall, but pieces of dead tree. But it's only after we kind of like burnt half down the city from, what do you call them, the siege weapons, yeah? It's only after that we realized no dwarfs around. So we decided to leave the town as it was. Someone should have warned us or sent message that they fled. Not our fault, laddie. I'm sorry. But it's nice to see you got out alive.
Oh, okay. That's. Marin, I don't think it's something we should uh, tell Odd about for now. What do you think?
He looks over at Mary and is like, "Hey, fair human. It's good to finally start talking to you and making amends for our past mistakes. Hopefully, with your kind, we can find peace in the West and create more business."
It's very refreshing to meet a dwarf who isn't trying to actually kill me, so
I
I
know,
hope you
right?
think of that.
I know. Old ways, stupid. Keep them in the past. We should always move forward with business and forward with making such alliances. We don't need to repeat history and we don't need to be stuck there. I'm a forward visionary individual, I would say.
What way forward do you see for this conflict between the two clans?
It's over. They come along and trying to do anything. We have now support from Brokewood. So we will treat them as hostile individuals and possibly even outlaws, if you will, of this new agreement we have.
He made an alliance with Brokewood.
Not only Brokewood, but all of the West, all of the King's lands know about this agreement, and we're looking to expand through us. Merch, and also possibly the flatlands might not be as flat as they are now.
What does that mean?
Meaning that there will be construction happening in the next 12 years. But more on that later once all the grey areas in the writing are deciphered. Lad, lass, it's been nice seeing that you got out alive. We're very sorry about what happened. We didn't want to get your little town involved, but we do have an important meeting ahead, so we are rather pressed for time. If you don't mind, we will make our way.
Last thing before you go, just since we're getting more updates, we heard that last time you said there was some issue with Ennis's family back in the mountain. That they were taken prisoners of some sort.
Prisoners? No, laddie. We are true to our word. Citizens go unharmed. His family, most of his family that isn't holding arms against what was the rebellion, they are safe in the city. They go around day to day. They're not chained or captive. They're free citizens. Go about their day as they will.
As I turn to Merin, at least we have some good news out of this.
Yeah, that's good to know.
If you don't,
I hope
Okay.
that-
if you don't mind, laddie, nice to meet you. And seeing that you call the little missy Merin, what shall I call you, big guy?
I'm Tlomax, Thunderhorn, if you will.
Mr. Thunderhorn. He looks at your antlers. It's like, I can see where you get the name. Good sense of humor. I like that. I won't forget you two. Onward, guys. We're late. And they just struttle off their way.
Oh, that was a lot.
Quite. Well, we'll update Ennis when we're back, I suppose.
Yeah, I hope that his friend is okay and that Beaky missed all that.
Oh, well, when we have time, because I can send a message to them. We'll see if they're still alive. But don't worry,
Oh, yeah.
we'll get that.
I
Hey,
guess we
let's
should
go.
deal with the current crisis first.
Yes, let's go get some from the library first.
As you continue your way to the library, we shift over back to Ennis and now Odd, who's now fresh and, with new clothes.
Oh, I really needed that, Ennis.
How are you feeling?
Barkeep, can I have a big strong ale, please? And that water.
Yeah, of course. Here you go. I got it for you. Wait, hold on. The accents. It's hard to shift from one to the other. Hold on. So he basically passes you a wooden cup filled with clear water. You look kind of thirsty.
I am, but now I need a beer. Can I have an ale, please?
He looks over the counter at the individual who is clearly unconscious underneath the beer barrel. I'm not sure if we have any left.
Oh, rough night for this guy then.
Night? He's been here a whole week. His party won't seem to move out of the tavern, or he just drank his sorrows away at not adventuring, and it's all that stupid wizard that they have. He overcomplicates things, you know.
Harold? Loss? What happened to them then?
Well, I don't like to, kiss and tell or be the rumor guy around here, but that wizard has been going on about some weird finding stuff, and like he swears that whatever he's finding is here in Brokewood, and I'm not quite sure, but it only till about yesterday late at night did he get up and say that it's gone, it's moved out of the area or something. So at this point it's the other way around now. They're waiting for him to sober up so they can start packing their way and going on their way journey. I've said too much. I think I said too much.
It's okay. I won't repeat anything you said.
I'll tell you what though. He kind of hands out the same. My God. He hands out the same drink that he was drinking from under the counter. It's like, you can take mine if you're okay with that. I only drank like 1/4 of it, so there's a lot for you.
Mighty kind of you. You sure you don't want to split the rest?
Nah, I'm waiting for new merch to come through the port in any time now. It's just a matter of waiting.
That's really nice of you. Here's a silver piece for your trouble.
Oh, your lot is awfully kind with silver these days. He kind of does the same thing, sniffs it, tastes it, and bites it, and tosses it in to tell you here that. Yeah.
Only to who's kind to us. Take
No.
a
You clearly aren't from the West, I can tell you that much. None of the Westerns do this.
Don't put everyone in the same pot, man.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a few people that are okay over there.
When you've been in the business as long as I have, my dad and then me, and you kind of start taking the people that come from the port and from the West, and then you have, rarely do we see anyone from the East. No one likes coming here from the East for the most part, unless it's for a book or healing or something. Other than that, you kind of get used to who's a Westerner and who's an Easterner.
Why don't the Easterners like coming here?
Well, I'm surprised you don't know. There's a reason why the Elden Reaches are there, so that the Westerners don't cross over to the East. It's been like that for centuries, but I hear word is that sooner or later we're probably gonna open up business to the Easterners, thanks to those dwarves down in the south.
I look at Ennis.
Not my clan though. We don't deal with humans.
the other ones.
Don't deal with humans.
Definitely.
I've just been nice to you, Mr. Dwarf.
We don't deal with the human kingdoms.
Oh, okay.
Not with humans in general, just human kingdoms.
True,
Bad things happen.
true Easterner in the blood, huh? True Easterner from the blood. Keeping to tradition and all that smoke from the past. Oh my goodness.
Are you
He, got,
century
he kind of
very little?
he kind of lowers himself underneath the counter and pulls up a bottle of wine, with his teeth, pulls off the crock, spits it on the side. I'm fed
think
up
to
of
remember.
politics, my friend. I'm
I think to remember. You humans live, what, 100 years maximum? Dwarves live more than twice that long. We remember more. The past, for what is past to you, it is more close to us.
And cheers to long life that I don't have to see a shit day of it. And he started continue to down the bottle.
I put my hand on Ennis and I'm like, it's not that healthy to hold a grudge, man. I know you have your reasons, but like I said to him, don't put everyone in the same pot.
It's not humans, it's wise. It's the human kingdoms.
Yeah. Maybe they'll change.
We'll see.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
And you see this old gnome passing by you, and with his little staff is poking at the armor of this human who's lying there. It's like, come on, it's time to wake up. Smacks him a bit on the face gently. Come on, it's time to wake up.
Excuse me. A member of our party is a cleric. He might be able to help if you would want to wait for him.
I don't know how a cleric would help drunk people.
Don't know either, but I don't know what he has up his sleeve.
Wake up! He turns back to him. Wake up!
I cast prestidigitation and put some water on his face.
On whose face?
The guy that's half asleep.
So you
Try
waste.
to wake him up.
So you waste your water. Okay. Wait, didn't you drink your water? No. Wait. What are you doing?
No, I'm casting prestidigitation. It's a cantrip.
All right. Okay. So you splash water onto him at this point. I'm guessing. Yeah. That way.
Yeah.
All right. The guy is just like, go away.
How long has he been drinking?
The barkeeper says, a fucking week. And he just steps back and keeps. You notice he opened another bottle without you realizing, and is downing another red wine.
Oh.
He's not picking up anytime soon. He's. And even if he woke up, he's not going to be in a good state anyway. You need to see dwarves drink. You drink a lot like this all the time. Celebrations.
The gnome grabs him by the leg and drags him all the way down to the cellar. All right, off to the bath with you.
His head hitting the stairs.
Pretty much. So you guys are staying in the Scarlet Inn?
What do you think, Odd? Should we ask around outside?
Well, let's walk a bit over here. What exactly did the bartender tell you about Mortos? Did he say anything else when I left?
Not really. He's just a shrink type character, disappears to his knowledge. Nothing, no knowledge of dark magic or whatever. Association at least with that.
As you're updating Odd, let's move over to Tlomax and Marin. You finally come across the library. Little did you expect that this library looks like a palace. Golden framed doors, the finest of oak wood. The hinges open up magically as the supposing golden knobs are molded in shape of a bird, and to open up for you as they sense your presence magically, it's almost they come to life and they push the doors open. As you walk in, you see about 5 stories worth of books and books and books, different colors, and this, you know how there's that like new book smell, it just kind of hits your face. An old woman, human, is at her desk, kind of scribbling away and with different parchments, and there's like this small wooden trolley of books, and she's just kind of muttering to herself and placing book by book into this trolley, which then you realize she's actually muttering to a gnome who is basically just hanging, it's like, I'm not good for this job. I keep telling you, I can't see where I'm going. Enough now. We must get these books back into place. They don't really acknowledge your presence until you start. Do you actually walk towards the woman?
Yes, at least I do.
There is an armored. You see, like, casings of armor, and one of them basically speaks to you. Greetings to our library. What section are you looking for today? You notice it's a warforge, actually.
Oh, okay. I think I'm looking on the section on gods, specifically if you got any books on Tale or the Devourer.
The gods
we're also-
section is going to be on the 2nd floor. Please follow the red lines. That should take you to the gods section. You should find what you're looking for, Tale, in row 3, section B.
We're also looking for if there's information on possibly some a person going by the name of Merin. What was his name?
Morthos.
Or Morthos.
I'm afraid that section is out of bounds. You will need some form of higher authority stamp to access the archives.
Uh-huh.
All
Okay.
information about every individual within Brokewood is under that section. Please make sure you get a sigil that will allow you to get into that area.
Okay. Well, at least you know there is some information here.
Plenty of information. The largest in the kingdom on the east.
Okay. So, Merin,
I'm-
do you
I'm
have
not
anything to search
sure.
for?
I'm looking for information about 2 things: corruption, especially corruption
Oh,
of a
yes.
person, and also cursed items, particularly a scarlet dagger.
Too specific. However, corruption history can be found on the 5th floor at the purple lining, section 36F. In relation to curses, that will be on the other floor, which is floor 3. Please follow the blue line that takes you to section 136, section Z.
Thank you very much.
Always a pleasure. Enjoy your reading. Please
Thank you.
stay as long as you will. Don't get lost, or you will die here.
Can we ask you one more question? How would we go about getting that sigil to access the restricted section?
You will need higher authorities to give you that authorization.
For example?
Cross-Tide Company may grant you this sigil.
Uh-huh.
The Nordic Alliance in the West may allow the sigil. The Brokewood counselor or anyone above his station can give you that sigil.
Tlomax, any ideas of what else to ask that could help with this?
I don't think there's really much. Just go look at the books, I suppose. Next step.
Okay, and then I guess we. What if we ask the librarian about the sigil? Maybe she can give us more. Maybe she can tell us what would be the easiest way to try and get hold of it.
Well, the Cross-Tide Company, from what I heard, I think. Well, I think I met some the other day. Well, they're not really that so easy to trifle with.
Mm.
So I don't think that's much of an option for us. Then again, you know what? We've got our next meeting with the. We go a bit to the side, not speaking next to the word forged before we do this. Tomorrow we've got another meeting with the quartermaster. Maybe we can get some. He can bump us up.
Did he say he has a connection with Brokewood?
Because we're not the only watchers in Brokewood, so.
That's a great idea. Okay, cool. Shall we split up and do our research then?
I'll go on level 2, you go level 5, and do we meet on level 3?
That sounds good. I guess I will see you later.
Okay.
All right. So you guys had your different, you took note of which sections you need to go to, and you start going through this library, stairs. It's vast, it's big, it's large, it's huge. Too many books. You start seeing title after title after title. Marion, as you're going through, which floor do you go to first? I'm just curious.
Tlomax and I agreed that we would meet on the 3rd floor to look at the cursed items section. So I would go to the 5th floor to look up corruption.
As you reach the 5th floor, and you pass the first 2 sections, which are huge, by the way, you do notice that a particular section, as you're looking up and you're examining the wonders of all these books, there is one section which catches your eye. Can you guess what it is?
Illusion? Oh, I was hoping I might run into something like that. I'm always on the lookout for new spells.
You come across the illusions section.
Did it look restricted in any way?
No.
I am taking a look.
And as you do that, we're gonna hit in for a 10-minute break. We will be back in 10 minutes, guys. I just need a potty break. Anyone needs a potty break? I do. Alright, catch you in 10 minutes. Twitchies, as Paul would say. And we are back. Hello, everyone. So, for those of you who just joined us, all is doing well, by the way. All fine and dandy. They split the party, though. Ennis and Odd are together investigating about this Mortos, the person from the past of Odd. Very Spanish chosen name, by the way, Odd, for your backstory. Tlomax and Marin head over to Brokewood Library, which is like, oh my god, so huge, so many books. It's the every bookworm's dream. You think Belle from Beauty and the Beast had it good? This is on a whole new level. Carrying on, we're going to shift over to Odd and Ennis, while Tlomax and Marin are enjoying their time in the library. Marin more than Tlomax at this point. Guys, what are you doing at this point?
First thing, I want to look over the inn and see the rest of the party members, because I didn't even look at them yet. Can I see them from here?
Yeah. So basically, from this new position you've taken, as you took Ennis to update you about Mortos, what did the innkeeper talk to him about, and getting all the info dump from Ennis, you do see that there is a wizard, and he is going through his book, and he has this really weird artifact hanging around him, sort of like a 360 compass that's pointing in a specific direction. You also hear the sound of a lute coming from the corner of the room. While you can't see him, you would imagine that there's a bard not far off from where the wizard is.
Yes. They have a bard. They have a
Remember
bard.
when you were that?
What?
Remember when you tried to be a bard?
We put so much emphasis on tried. It's a future occupation. It's in my sleeves. But I'd like to. I'm quite curious actually about this party. Curious about what they're looking for, and that wizard has this thing on his head that looks really interesting. Should we go and have a chat?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, the barkeep doesn't have any more alcohol, right? Don, he said.
No.
Okay, I will approach the party and look at the wizard and say, by any chance, was that a hostile guy over there with you?
He's old. You could say he's about 80, maybe more years old. Wrinkly, long beard, going through his books, and as he was about to turn his eye towards his artifact, he catches eyes with you all. It's like, yes, stupid young boy, and he turns his head down and flips the page. And it's like, oh, what am I doing? You distracted me. And he slams the book on the table really loud. Oh, where was I? Sure. And he looks at his artifacts. You see the bard in the corner. He's elf of race. Quite eloquent clothing. Long trench coats, fine dressing, nice boots, with a hat with a feather on it. And as he's humming to himself, and he's playing his instrument in the corner, softly plucking away the strings, not too loud, just kind of like he's trying to find a good melody, it seems, for something.
I look over to the bard and I say, it's a pretty good technique you have there.
Yes, I have been practicing for the last 120 years or so. I'm still trying to find the right tone.
You've got 110 more than I have, then.
He looks over and opens his eyes and is like, ah, A Tiefling, of course.
Of course.
For you see, and he strums, and he kind of, takes position. The Tiefling's blood is one of old, yet does not live as long as the elven folk.
Quite witty and quick. I see those 120 years have served you quite well.
He smiles even wider. It's like, it would seem like you know the talents.
Yeah, do you need some help?
He laughs. I do not need anyone's help. Have you not heard of me here? I am the great, and he kind of flux, how do you say it? He kind of, this diva of him just comes out, right? I am the great noble Druz Makara.
Nice to meet you. Noble.
It is pronounced Druz de Makara.
Dros de Makara.
It's the fangs, probably. It's getting in the way.
That's good. Yeah, it's could be. Well, can't fault me there, I guess.
You've been a bard for 120 years?
I have. I have decided to venture the world and tell the tale of our party, while also aiding them if they need.
Anything you can tell for now? By now, at least.
I'm sorry? I
Any
can't hear you
interesting-
from your beards, dear dwarf.
Any interesting stories you can tell till now?
Puff's tail is digging into his neck.
And as he props his lute on his chest, of course, the wizard immediately is like, "Could you please not? I am trying to identify where to go next, but this item's going crazy. And he looks over to Odd and is like, "No. Could it be?" He kind of slams the book shut in front of him. "Come here, boy. You, one with the horns. Come here. Let me take a good look at you."
Okay. I walk over to the table and walk next to him.
He immediately, just with one old skinny hand, as the robe flips over, grabs you by one horn and pulls you closer. His eyes widen. You can see details of his wrinkles. This really strong smell from his beard coming off of tobacco and smoke, clearly from the pipe that he must be smoking from time to time. Robes smelling of a bit of the smell of old people.
This is a bit rude.
Hush! I'm examining you. And you see that his eyes, despite they were actually brown in color, actually start to turn yellowish, and then purple, and then back to brown. And as he lets go of your horn, it's like, "You've been in touch with them, haven't you?" As his eyes now, from wide, go narrow.
Touch with who?
They speak to you? Do they?
I'm sorry. I.
From your
didn't catch
hesitation, I will say that is correct. And he opens his book and starts shoving through.
In touch with who?
name. I think he's talking about.
Here it is. Yes. And he points down into his book. You, my friend, are not going to last too long. You are going to need to see a professional. And please, stay out of range from my arcane crystal ball. It needs an accurate pinpoint of where the corrupted item has gone. You are in the way of the field. Please do not interfere further with my work. As his
What
mood changes.
corrupted item What corrupted item are you looking for?
The bard interrupts. It's like, he is saying that apparently there are a couple of corrupted items. He refers to them as sharp or shiny objects. Basically, there's a couple running around the kingdom, and we need to kind of see where they are, collect them, save the world because of this. It's the most boring tale, I assure you.
We've encountered corrupted items.
And saving the world is never boring, man. Are you seriously a bard? That's kind of like the premise of almost all the best tales.
Yes, from perhaps a tribe of dragonborn or, a village attacked by these rough scoundrel orcs, I would understand that. Overthrowing the kinglands or something like that, but chasing around jewels and swords and daggers? Please, I've seen better in my lifetime.
Well, you haven't. I'm quite sure of it.
Wizard, what do you know about these corrupted items? We've encountered them before. Maybe we can exchange information.
What could you exchange information? I have been searching them for the last 15 years when it
Have you
was...
ever seen one?
We've encountered one in the past.
Have you ever been affected by one?
One at a time. I'm an old man. Oh my goodness. He kind of shifts in his robes, puts out a long pipe and starts to light it with his finger. Hold on, wait. One at a time.
Okay. Have you ever seen one?
The door first. Very good. Well, we have not.
Okay. So, we know at least about two. One is a brooch. One other is a dagger.
Scarlet dagger.
Scarlet dagger. We're
Yes,
getting to it.
sounds about right. Where are these items?
So,
One was here in Brokewood for sure. My artifact doesn't lie. It is accurate. But again, your tiefling friend here is interfering with matters as he stands in this tavern, and he slams his hands impatiently. You kind of know, you hear the bard and the going, he's going to die of a stroke if you're not careful,
I'll do my best. So, the one that was here recently was the dagger. It currently is in the possession of a Captain Hiccup.
Captain.
Not a charming fellow.
Captain Hiccups. But why do I know this name? Why? And the elf goes
He's
like,
very notorious in this part.
notorious tyrant pirate, feared by everyone in the seven seas. Yes, there are 7, which have not yet been mapped. We only know of 2. Sad, sad, sad story.
So that's the one you've been findings. We could tell you the way it can affect a certain person as well, if you want. Oh, wizard.
I've chosen this party. I don't need more.
We don't want to join you, but we can exchange information. You seem to have been studying them for a while. Even though you haven't met them, you may have been studying the academic aspect.
And the bard was like, if we're going to have that discussion, I'm afraid I will take my leave, for it is quite a boring subject to hear for a long, long time. And he kind of makes his way around you guys. Sorry about
Kind of glad I'm not a bard anymore.
that. Excuse me, dwarf. And he heads over to the front.
So that's what I would have turned in 100 years.
You would live to 100 years.
What I know is that these things landed a long, long time time ago. No way could corruption take such indefinite form, so potential, in such a short time. But they've only been activated only recently. Here, in the east, I sensed it. I have been chasing it round and round, only to find bloody remains, even inside a tent once in the forest.
You went to the east. You went to the east. You met.
Yes, dwarf, in the east, pay attention.
Yes, that was the effect of the brooch.
The brooch.
The brooch, the other dark artifact we mentioned, not the dagger. That was an ally of ours. He got cursed by it. But you saw his remains, that's its effect on people. I got affected by it too, but I recently got it healed.
How can
I
you...
wonder what's still affected by it if you want to kind of see some of the effect. But some bandages.
This was in the Pikelands.
Yes, I've been to the Pikelands. I know about the Pikelands, yes. Not easy to travel through that area.
We
Well,
have procured that brooch.
his eyes again widen. It's like
It is not here.
he immediately
Yes,
just kind of sloves back into his pipe. It's just like, you are a useless bunch. I swear to the gods old and new, you are useless.
What we do know is that these artifacts can be used to give it for power. People can use them for corrupted, but they can use them for power.
Incorrect, dwarf, incorrect. They can't be used. They are the ones being used, dwarf. That's where it's tricky. It would look, in the beginning of its earliest infiltration of corruption, that they seem to be in control. However, it is something far sinister and darker that controls them.
Is there any way to cure anyone afflicted with the corruption?
It's not been done before. It's not been heard about before. Again, I have no expertise. I only delve in magic and not corruption. But what you are seeking is more than magical and arcane. No, it is more. It is something beyond our realm. Let's cut the scene here and go back to Tlomax and Marin. Marin, you're in the illusions section. You've gone through so many books, and one book stands out to you. Because you've seen others, like, yes, I know this one, you put it back off. Heard about this story, put it back. And one of them catches your eye. Withered, almost handwritten, bounded physically, but still in good shape. Forbidden Illusions is the title on the book. You go through it.
Speed read.
Some illusions here are beyond what you could imagine. Something that you can't even grasp your head around. Like, how does it work? Some of these things you can actually do at your potential. Others that you need a couple of years more experience before you can fully fledged use these illusions.
Anything look like I could possibly use it now?
No. Can you roll me a d10?
A D10. How is it? What's the command?
Slash
Slash
roll
roll?
D10. Or
No, is it roll 1d10? Roll space 1d10, I think.
I rolled a 5.
You rolled a 5. There is a weird one here that you see. It literally is open parentheses, hey, exclamation mark, over here, exclamation mark, close parentheses. And as you're reading through the description, it copies the caster about 60 feet away from you in radius. The copy is indistinguishable from the original, right? Which basically does the motion, hey, over here.
Wonderful.
From the story that you read, it has been used many times to distract, scatter enemies or foes to get into certain high infiltrations, such as castles, banks, simply to distract. It has been very effective.
I would love to have this in my spellbook.
Okay, I will forward you the details later on.
I'm so happy. Love my parchment and I start. Very odd. Temporarily forgotten. Books trump bros.
All right.
Books before bros.
Do you put the book back? Sorry.
Can I conceivably copy the spell before and then put the book back?
You could if you want to.
Because, books are a serious thing. I don't want to get in trouble with the librarian.
Sure thing.
Can I think I should be able to message Tlomax if he's within range, even though I can't see him.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to send off a message to him and say, I'm going to. It's going to take me a while because I found something really, really cool, but I'm just going to be here and I will meet you later.
and where is here?
Oh, well, in the illusion section. Sorry.
Oh, so level 5, I suppose. Still.
Yes.
All right. So,
Okay.
Tlomax, where are you at the moment? Which section did you say you were going to?
Level 2, following the red path, searching for tail.
As you come across almost these huge volumes, right, for each god individually. Thales is a bit weird when you come to his section. It is almost as if the cover itself is made out of fish skin, the scaly fish skin. Golden letters of Thale, volume 1, Thale volume 2. And there's about like a good 25 volumes. Anything you
Well-
want to pick out from?
Volume 1.
Volume 1 will, as you open it, you realize it is the origin of Thale, where he came from, his first appearance to the mortal world. Thale is as old almost as the beginning of the new world. So he's one of the new gods that you can read here. He is the god of the sea. He is the god of the storms on the sea. And he only grants safe passage only because he claims the sea territory as his own.
Most probably I'll continue searching and maybe see if there's some information on uncles.
All right, so
Any other volume.
So as you're picking out volume by volume and you're skimming through for uncles, it took you about to volume 18, and basically uncles are people who protect the crew and party that travel in the seas. Uncles are favored by Thale, and grant them safe passage. However, Thale has no dominions over any form of arcane interference by other humanoids. So, if anyone decided to cast something, you know. However, he describes that the spell weave that they use, they'll be able to see it as like a fishnet, and Thale will grant his uncle the favor by pushing through that and opening a way for direct passage of the spells that you do in the name of Thale. Uncles are to be in service for a crew member permanently, unless the crew members part ways. Rarely do uncles take control of a party, meaning that they never are captains. They are just there as spiritual guidance, and they're very powerful because they channel the will of Thale. There is nothing about how to become an uncle in this volume.
Uh-huh. So we're at volume 18 from 20. So we'll go over the last two.
What are you looking for specific, though?
Well, in particular, nothing. It's more on if there's like a specific shrine that is the original possible shrine of Tale and its possible location.
All right, so that's the keywords that you're going to do. Okay, let's act like I'm Google for a section. That's what you're searching, right? So you're going to skim back through the books.
Tale, shrine, origin.
So
Search.
it actually is in volume 3, where basically it is legend said that Tale's shrine is at the bottom of the ocean in the Thunder Seas. It's the original shrine that was created by Thale himself lies there, in the bed of eyeballs, where his throne lays.
Okay, I'll take note and see if there's anything related to this throne of eyeballs. Then.
Okay, throne on eyeballs. I just want to make sure that's
Okay, throne on eyeballs. Okay, not of.
throne of.
Okay.
So there's nothing else about it. The eyeballs are actually the eyes sacrificed. It's a form of sacrifice that each follower must do to show that they are committed to Tale. And Tale uses these eyeballs to see every corner of the ocean, seas, and well, whatever is there.
Okay, so not in stories. Basically, seeing through the uncles with the other eye. I would suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So that's what you gather,
in
I guess.
In theory.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. I think seeing that Meren is hung up, I would speak to the Warforged, see if there's any other section, geographical section on Thundersea and the Throne on Eyeballs, and in its possible
Right.
location.
As you're heading down, Marin, what are you doing at this point? Are you still stuck in the illusion section? Well, you were copying the spell basically for the most part, right? How to conjure it and all
Yeah.
this.
I'm pretty fast at copying illusion spells. Would I have finished?
Yes, very much so.
So I am going to get back on track with my original quest, and I am looking for where's my notes? So it's section 5. Oh man, so much has happened in this.
Level 5, section Z, if I'm not mistaken, on curses.
So you're going for the
Um,
curses section?
Yes, hang on. Corruption.
Yeah, corruption. Yeah.
Corruption in the history section, and then I will meet Tlomax later in the cursed items section.
Yep.
All right. So, unfortunately, the corruption section is literally just 1/5 of another section. Basically, it's just sharing a section of a section. There's only a few books here. Roughly, you count around 30, 38, maybe, something like that. It's not much. And as you're going through each and every book, titles, skimming through, nothing catches your eye about a curse corruption or anything of the sort. Can you tell me exactly what you're looking for?
I'm looking for corruption of items or people.
You find nothing, unfortunately, under that specific search. What you do,
Corruption.
what you find is about, curses, how to curse items, curse people, but nothing about corruption per se. The only book that you find about corruption is actually a very generic one that explains what corruption is and how it works. Other than that, there's nothing to it on how to deal with it or how they come about.
What does it say about how it works?
So the way the description is written is that corruption is a pure form of evil, true evil energy that takes hold of a host, whether alive or not, and slowly turns it into an evil entity, eventually losing all form of its true self and gives itself up to do evil things.
Okay. So I guess then I would look for something about that pure evil energy. Can I learn more about that?
There's nothing in this section that can help you with that, no.
Okay. This was the history section, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I'm not quite sure. I believe so, yeah.
If I look in nearby sections, any clues or hints?
One thing does catch your eye per se. In this specific section of the history section, you realize that just around like the corner, as you know, when you tilt your head, you see these really old manuscripts. Really old. I'm talking thousands of years old. There's kind of a glow against them, so they might be protected of some sort. You can give me an arcane check if you want to see what that is. I'll leave it up to you. They're old, and as you look for what section this is the section of anything that survived from the old world, known as Ethazel. You got me?
SSL.
So Ethazel, Ethazel. From the arcane check you did, the arcane magic will is known to you, as a protection spell on these items, so they are not able to be touched. However, you would be able to interact with them. Let's put it like that. I don't want to give too much away.
Okay. Do I think there might be an alarm associated with the...
With a 10, you maybe you were hesitant that it might be something like that. You're not sure, but I think because you're not sure what this type of magic is, 100% at least, you're wary of it.
Okay. I am going to reach out and try and touch them, because if I set off the alarm, then I'm fine with that, because then I'll ask questions of whoever comes to see what's going on.
So you're gonna touch multiple of them?
I am going to touch whichever one catches my eye the most.
All right, so there's this one particular old manuscript that catches your eye, simply because it it's the nearest one that looks thick in its roll and all this stuff, right? So as you go for it, um, the the force field, so to speak, of the arcane magic stops you, and as your motion keeps going through, you see like your own spiritual hand reaching out for it, and as you touch it, a voice echoes in the hallway. The story of Ethazel. Origins 3,563 years ago. And it starts narrating a story about how the lands came under this political rule of one, basically uniting all nations within the continent to fall under this one major rule.
An audiobook. I love it.
Yep, pretty much.
So, united under one rule, which then later we know didn't work out. I would like to just listen as long as I can.
As you listen to the whole history about how different parts of the continent were not completely in favor and all this, they disguised themselves in a democracy, and basically there was a rebellion that came out about, which was later dealt with through militia, armies, law enforcement. Eventually, once again, it restored peace for a very long time, and a very long time indeed. However, people that were in control of this kind of system to unite the whole continent also abused of this factor, leaving some places to remain poor and other places to, flourish with enrichments. I'm gonna just cut off as you're listening to this beautiful audio in detail to Odd and Ennis. So the old wizard at this point is once again interrupted as the old gnome comes along. It's like, listen, he's not gonna wake up anytime soon. I've drenched him in water and almost drowned him. I'm not sure we can do anything more than that.
As I've said, when people drink so much, they're not gonna wake up. It happens with dwarves. We like to drink a lot.
But he's a human. I'm surprised he could take so much. He's supposed to be.
He's breathing, right?
He kind of lifts his head up over to the gnome. The gnome was like, yeah. His I mean, I saw bubbles come up, so yes, he's breathing.
Okay. No, want him to die. That can happen. Oh my. Where were we, wizard?
Ah, yes, I was telling you about how corruption is not used, but corruption uses you
Yes,
as its
of course.
tool. Eyeing Odd carefully when he says this.
So you're just looking for these corrupted items out of goodwill, just save the world? Are you working for someone else? I'm not. As a person that has come into contact with these items, I am worried that anyone that could find them, someone as powerful as you seem to be, would be a hazard to this world. You're just doing this out of good intention?
And as you say that, the drenched human with sword and shields by his side come up the steps No. He thinks he can use them. Of course it's with a good intention. Who's the idiot who said that anyways? And he looks around the room as he kind of staggers up. The gnome turns round. Ah, good. I thought you wouldn't wake up. I wouldn't have if it wasn't for the stupid bath you put me in. The wizard waves his hand as all the water is kind of taken out of his clothing and armor, and he just kind of throws it aside in the corner of the room. Ah, it is good that you are here now. I think it's time we had to move on. It was nice meeting you fellas, but we have more pressing business. The bard laughs as he comes up to Sir. It's like, of course, pressing business. To some. Oh, I hope a good tale comes out of this that I can sing.
Before you leave, might I ask your name? To the wizard.
Ah.
Sorry.
I go by many names. The bard quickly interrupts. No, he doesn't. Fine. I am known as Eric the Old nowadays.
Eric?
Eric.
Okay. Thank
Yes, at least it's not me who doesn't understand through the muffled beard he has. And he's tuning his mandolin at this point.
But this was quite enlightening. I wish you the best of luck on your journeys, and should our paths cross again, hopefully we could fight side by side against whatever this corruption is doing to the world.
Onward. He kind of ignores your compliments and he starts pressing forward. The party follows him closely, and they all leave.
They're quite rude for some people with good intentions.
Yeah. Well, we've met Tlomax.
Yeah, but I mean, he just met someone that came into contact with this, and he seemed totally.
He might not have the best intentions. We'll see. He might be just there documented. We don't know.
DM, would it be too much to ask for if I could do a kind of insight check on the conversation to gather if they seem to be truthful about them having good intentions?
Seeing as the party left and the interaction happened, I will leave that up to your judgment rather than an insight check. It's too late for an insight check at this point. I'm sorry. I think
Sorry.
it's only fair.
Yeah, makes sense. I was pushing my luck a bit.
You
Thank
were.
you. Well,
These with information. Have some idea of what they are.
yeah, we know other people are looking for this. We should inform the
Yeah,
guild.
we need to involve the quartermaster. Also,
The fireplace next to you starts to try to burst in flames, but it's only like sparks. The quartermaster's face comes and goes rather deformed.
Chris,
Marin, the crystal that teleports you back is vibrating profusively at this point. Back at the inn, and like this massive spark explosion comes across the room.
everybody out now.
Yeah.
Nothing harmful happened. It's just sparks.
Yeah. Odd moves slightly away, taken aback. It's like, can you hear us? Do I don't know, continuously make the same sound if you can hear us.
The crystal had immediately stopped vibrating. By the way, Marin. There is no correspondence anymore. The fireplace ceases as it was, lifeless of fire.
It's weird. Well, we've got a meeting set up in 24 hours, so unless that was really urgent.
I'd imagine so. Or somehow, I don't know.
Maybe he heard there's some kind of link and he heard us say that we need to speak to him.
Yeah.
But either way, we're not going to speak to him, apparently. So, what do you think, Ellis? Should we go to the library or should we maybe ask around for Mortos?
Let's go to the library. I don't think we'll better get much on Mortis.
Yeah.
I mean, these from what I got from the barkeep, it's not really likely.
Yeah.
Alright, so we cut scene to Tlomax. Tlomax, you are in front of the Warforge at this point. It's like, did you find what you are looking for?
Yes, I did. But now I'm in search for the geography section, and there's the section on possibly on the throne on eyeballs.
Throne of Eyeballs. I am afraid
On.
Throne on Eyeballs. I'm afraid that is not anywhere to be found in this library.
Okay, so I head up to level 3 for the curse section then.
Marin, do you join him at this point, or I mean the audio thing, which was, this. By the way, Tlomax, you hear this kind of muffled thing in the top level, which was quite. It's loud, but not audible for you to hear. You hear this kind of like echo. The acoustics are horrible here, by the way, so you can't really make out what's being said. The audiobook finishes with the conclusion that the reign of unity lasted for a couple of about 1,500 years in total. And the scroll kind of shakes a bit as the voice that was narrating dies off. Do you do anything?
I cast message to Tlomax. I say, "Where are you? Quick, where are you?"
I'm heading to level 3.
Okay, I'll meet you there. Hurry, I think something's very wrong. And I head to level 3 as fast as I can.
So, compressing time, you do meet up at level 3. Carry on.
Something really strange has happened. The teleport crystal from the watches has just vibrated really hard and then stopped, and it's never done that before. I think it means something, but I don't know what. Can you contact them?
Okay. Who do you want me to speak to? Ennis or Odd?
No, can you
And what do you
contact the watches? Can you contact the
Oh,
contact the
okay.
quartermaster?
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. Makes sense.
This is really strange.
Okay. So, I'll cast sending to the quartermaster. Hold on. Has some has something happened, quartermaster? Did you want to inform us of anything? Yes, I'm casting sending to. So I'm sending him a message. And I speak to. It seems the quartermaster has information on Mortos. That's
Okay.
good to know.
Yeah.
So we check the curses section and go back to the inn.
Yeah. I just wonder why it must be urgent to make the crystal vibrate, but he doesn't seem to be in a hurry now. Okay, let's check the curses.
Okay, so we go check the curses section on cursed items. Marin, I think we're looking for cursed
Um,
items.
First items in general, and any mention of a scarlet dagger.
Oh, yes, that.
Hold on, because my audio was like busted during the stream. So, for those of you who were listening to them but not listening to me, the message came through and the quartermaster replied back, and I just asked them, what are they looking for? Repeat that again for me, sorry.
You're looking for information about cursed items in general, and a scarlet dagger in particular.
You find a book about how to curse items. There are various ways how to do so. There's rituals, there's specific high level magic that can be used. So you find quite a lot of information about it. However, usually the curse would be like it wouldn't tell you how to do it per se. It would tell you the consequences of certain curse, history of certain curses. Nothing anything similar that you've experienced with odds, though, from what you're reading. Like as you're both skimming through, both of you, like nothing is anything close to what's happening with odds.
Maybe it's not a cursed item, it's a corrupted item.
Mm.
And there wasn't much about corruption at all.
Oh, so not much on that area. Maybe the Mortos trail will lead to something then.
Maybe. Did we ask the Warforged again about the scarlet dagger?
Well, he said to come over here in this section for it. So
Well, we
with the
had
cursed
asked him
items.
about cursed items though, so maybe he thought you were looking for a cursed scarlet dagger. Maybe there's something about it aside from
Yeah,
curses.
it's going. We're going to, well, if we need to go out, the Warforged is still on the way, so might as well ask.
So
Oh yeah,
as
okay.
So you go down back to the ground floor, and as you're approaching the Warforge, you see Odd and Ennis kind of in awe, like as they see the same flutting birds open the door for them. Warforge is greeting them the same way he greeted you, and you finally come together as a group.
Hey,
Is there an area in the fire where we can kind of pull aside a bit?
Yes, 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 of course. There is the same place that you went away earlier, not to speak in front of the Warforge. Um, Floor is yours,
Yeah.
guys.
So, uh, Marin said that there was some kind of issue with the sending stone, and it seems like I spoke like to the quartermaster, and he's got some information on Mortos. Maybe we can find something
Did
some flame.
try to appear in the fireplace, but we couldn't
Oh,
exactly hear what he was saying or see him properly.
oh, what? When was this?
A couple of minutes ago, but just we left here. We left here just shortly after that. We left to come here just shortly after.
Oh, could
That's about
be.
the time that the stone started vibrating.
Could be the case then. Uh, so what's last? We're gonna check
Did you
last
guys
final thing from here.
find anything
From my end, yeah, but from
on
Marin's
the
side,
curse corruption item type thing?
the corruption things, Marin said that there wasn't really anything much, and we're gonna check the last final detail on maybe the Scarlet Dagger if there's some other
Okay.
section we missed.
So we encountered a group which was also looking for these corrupted items.
Uh huh.
So
very rude.
Oh,
So rude. But, but they had a lot of information.
oh,
Yeah.
okay. It seems you are got more information than we did then.
So, from what we can gather, they believe that these corrupted items are very ancient, kind of items that came from beyond the realm. They're powerful. They appear to be attempting. They may appear to be at first being used by a user, but they will eventually start using the user themselves.
Uh-huh.
This
What's that?
wizard had a something made him nerd, something about this. It was kind of like a compass that was pointing towards
Corruption.
everywhere since I was there. Apparently, I
Points
was
towards corruption.
yeah, I was fucking it up with my
Might-
presence.
It will best if you ask the quartermaster about this. Given
What
that
I
he
did
watches.
what I did find about corruption is that the source is pure evil energy. That's what it does from. And I don't know how it causes corruption, but that's the source. But I
Right.
don't know how we would counter that.
Can remove some effects of corruption, apparently.
What can?
Yeah.
Through magic. I mean, through magic, we
Well-
may remove heal damage caused by corruption. Don't know how to remove certain elements of corruption. This is what happened to me.
Maybe
was
not
remove
the
the corrup-
source.
Yeah, we can't remove the source. We don't know what exactly happened to Odd either.
Not yet, at least. Maybe this when we get this information on Meltos or what
Tots.
from the
Mortos.
Mortos from the quartermaster, we might get more insight on this.
Mentos.
There are fireplace nearby.
Yes, was there a fireplace in the library? That was secluded.
Fireplace in the library.
Okay.
Well, so maybe they have a lounge or
shot.
something. um, hmm.
You guys wanted to
Well,
look at the Scarlet Dagger
Yeah,
first.
Mala. Before we leave, just check back in with the Warforged if there's a section or books on the Scarlet Dagger. If there's none, I think we'll head back to the inn.
So as you approach the Warforge and ask him about the Scarlet Dagger, how is your question formed?
So we're looking for magical. If there's so many information on particular magical items. One goes by the name of the Scarlet Dagger.
Magical items section could be found on the 4th floor. Scarlet Dagger is a specific magic type that is a change of hue of color of an item, changing none of its properties. You can also find that in the magic section on the 4th floor. Specifically, if you are interested in making magical items, please find section 356B.
What do you think, Marin?
I don't think that it's gonna. It sounds like he's just saying general things, but I guess it couldn't have one last check.
So we'll saunter up to level 4 because we've currently skipped it here for now. See if there's anything on rare magical items.
Or just the Scarlet Dagger, really.
Yeah, but maybe we can get some insight.
We don't know if it was magical before it was corrupted. Can something be corrupted and non-magical?
Well, if it is corrupted, it has become magical, I suppose.
Samantha didn't describe corruption as being magic exactly, did she?
Ah,
She was
Could be.
something else, something much more sinister and dangerous.
So not arcane?
Well, she didn't detect any magic coming from Odd. We didn't detect anything magical
no,
from
we
Odd.
didn't even meet it. There's nothing magical from him.
So,
Yeah, she thought I was
possibly
crazy.
not arcane. If he's affected by corruption, it's not arcane,
Mm.
necessarily.
What's the
I
opposite
think
of corruption?
I think then the best course of action is just
Blessed.
find the fireplace. Then
Do we need to look for divine?
Yes, divine, maybe. Flox, you're the cleric. Maybe you can give us more insight on the divine.
well,
Uh,
I've been researching a bit on the. Hold on, I forgot the name.
eh,
Damn it. Oh yeah.
Hey, actually, I heard you say Thale to the Warforged. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time. I've heard of Thale back where I'm from in Cranog, way up in the north. I don't know anything about him as such, but his followers are a bit like they keep to themselves. But yeah, he's a god up there.
Well, from what I read, he's a god of the seas, so I don't.
Makes sense. There is a sea up there too.
Okay, but I was more looking for. I don't think you've heard of something of the throne on eyeballs. It's quite nah,
No, never heard any.
not really.
Never, I
On
never met a
your.
follower of Thale. I just heard of him as a name.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, searching for divine items, I don't think might be a way, but I don't think we'll really get much out of this. I think it's will be more fruitful maybe to go back to the inn and possibly somehow contact the quartermaster. Maybe if we get some more insights from his end, we might know a bit more what to search for.
Maybe along the way we keep an eye out for something, anything to do with divine healing.
Well, we have Samantha for that.
the Asmanta is arcane healing, not divine.
Ah, well, there is a shrine of near the market, but
Healing might need to come from the gods.
that's why that's why they're thinking about the shrine. But last time I was there, it was quite empty. There wasn't really any people manning the shrine, so I don't know how much help that would be. But
You could ask the
I
quartermaster if he knows anything
I
about
yeah,
this too.
I think yes, that's best course of action. Quartermaster, and then see what we get from there.
Right, so you're gonna head back to the Scarlet Inn, yes?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
We want the fireplace.
We want the fire. We want the fire. Fire.
Though, hang on, didn't the fireplace just not work for them?
Yes.
We will find out
Well,
after the break. Let's hit for a quick 7-minute break. All right. So the time is 13 past. We will back in 20 past. Okay.